Hey, OB Joyful Church. Well, I have the privilege of introducing you to Sunday's message, and I want to give you just a little bit of a heads up and orientation towards where we're headed. And it happens to be the very last message in our series that we've called Hallowed on the Lord's Prayer. These last few words that Jesus is gonna tell his disciples are these: lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. What we've been trying to do is learn through this whole time, not just to repeat a certain set of words, but to understand the deepest meaning behind those words and then use them and use the format and the framework of the Lord's Prayer in order to teach us to bring things to God in a really appropriate and meaningful way, both to Him and to us. And certainly, this is a time when, there's no time that doesn't need prayer, but wow, what a time that we need to be going to the Lord as individuals and corporately to bring so much before Him. Well, our passage on Sunday about temptation and evil is about hard things. Those are things that we don't want to have anything to do with. Really, temptation just shows us that we have a hole in us that is driving us to something. We want something more than we think we can find in Jesus alone, in Him only. We're tempted to look to other things. Evil surrounds us. And there's a parallel to this thing that Jesus is saying, and it's just a few verses before. It's in chapter 5. Jesus says, in verse 10, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward in heaven is great. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you." So Jesus is saying, look, when you follow me, you're going to deal with temptation to walk away from me because you're going to be rejected. And rejection hurts. And the world is going to draw you and pull you. And we're going to be tempted. And we're going to feel the anger and the evil of the world pressed on us through the words that are spoken about us, about Christianity, about our God. And all of those things are going to make it hard to walk with Him. But Jesus says this really interesting thing there in verse 12, and it's so encouraging. He says that there's a promise. He says, "Rejoice and be glad. Your reward is great in heaven." Rejoice and be glad. It seems very counterintuitive to suffering, the suffering of temptation, the suffering of being persecuted. But he says, rejoice. And I really think the beginning of that process is to say to Him, Lord, lead me not into temptation, but deliver me from evil. Pray that prayer. Talk to God about it. Try to understand how it fits in with chapter 5. All right. Talk to you Sunday. Bye-bye.